Hey guys, how's it going? Let me just let everybody know we're going live. Like always, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Sorry,
Let me
hang on
just,
one second. Let me mute that. Like always, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, throw them up in chat and we'll go over them. Let's see, I got a couple more of these to put up. Let's see, just making sure everybody knows we're going live. Okay, let's log into our class on Discord. And we still got about 3 minutes, so we'll go over a couple of things while we're waiting on everybody to get in Discord. Let's see. All right. Okay. So guys, like always, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, throw them up in chat, and I'll try to take breaks every so often and go over anything. Hey, how's everybody doing? We got just a few minutes before it starts, so I'm putting this on YouTube too. I'm streaming it on YouTube, so you guys can talk if you need to, ask any questions. I'll also take breaks and check the chat and Discord and YouTube and see if anybody has any questions. Let's see. So the plan is I figured what we would do today is we would talk a little bit about the market, where I think the market's going this week. We would go over some plays that I've done here recently, why I took them, why I entered, where I exited, some things like that. And also maybe look at some plays that could be possibly coming up. So what time is it? We got about 1 more minute before people can join. Now, if you're in Discord, I'm going to be switching here at the beginning, so and going to a chart that's on my browser. So if you see my screen go away, you can just give me a second and I'll pop it right back up, and you can click on that and we can look at my browser that way. What time is it? Okay, we are live. Let me check. YouTube, see what we got. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go start the class now. Let me see, I'll let everybody know we was going live in there, I think. We'll go ahead and start, and if anybody shows up, they can show up. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the market right now, um, where it's going, where it could possibly go, um, some things like that. I think one of the problems with the market being down right now is, there's fears in the market with the rate hikes coming. Plus, last week wasn't entirely great with earnings. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And amongst everything going on, I think there was waiting a lot. This week, there's kind of like a super earnings week going on. There's a lot of big people uh, doing earnings this week. What do we have? Let me find the earnings calendar real quick. Just like today. Today closed with, after close, Microsoft, Google, Visa, GM, Enphase, QuantumScape, all doing earnings today after close. In the morning, we have Boeing, Spotify, and then Wednesday evening, we have Facebook, PayPal, Ford, Teladoc, Hertz. And then Thursday, we have Twitter, Apple, Amazon, Roku, Intel. So just a lot of big players stretched across uh, energy, oil, and tech. I mean, it's just all over the place. So when you have this many large cap companies doing earnings in one week, it's going to really affect the market. Now, I usually look at, I'll Google earnings beat data and look at Street Insider. And if you do that, you'll see it'll pop up whatever quarter you're in, the beat data. I like to see that around 70 to 71 or higher. Anything at that or under usually means that the market is not doing so well. 71 or higher is, a lot of the bigger players has usually reported good. The market's doing good. 71% of the markets are reporting good earnings is what it means. Um, so overall, let me go back to my chart. The last 2 days has not been great for the market. We did have a little bit. I'm sorry, this is going so slow. I think it's where I'm running the YouTube too. Let me see if I can exit out of this. I've got a lot of stuff up with this trying to run. So I'm sorry if this is a little bit laggy. So you can see here the other day that when it reported earnings, let me go to 15 minute.
Hey Zero, what's up?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Just living the dream.
There you go. So pretty much what we're talking about is we're going over like pretty much the state of the market right now, what we can expect this week. We're going to go over a few plays that I made this week, why I made them, some things like that. And then we're going to look at some plays that we could possibly take.
All right, beautiful.
So what we're looking at right now is how the market's been down the last several days. Yesterday it kind of popped up, creating this like bull trap pretty much. And then it sold back off. And I think a lot of this had to do with, again, earnings. We had Ups, 3M, Waste Management. A lot of those posting earnings, only like one or two of them really did good. Um,
How did UPS do? I thought they did okay.
they did, but I don't think their guidance was that great, so they ended up pulling back. I didn't see what they did near the end of the day, though. So
And
if
I
we
got a
go,
feeling that the whole market just pulled back because when their earnings came out, then Zim, they're another transportation company, they went up like 3-4%. They
yep,
got pulled back. Like everything just got pulled back.
yep. It's a lot to do with fear in the market mixed with everybody waiting to see how earnings is going to do and what the big money is going to do with it. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like this waiting game, and you can see right here if we go toward this is the E-mini futures. It's think of like kind of like tech futures. It's a good aggregate for the SPY to see how it's going to react. and we can see between it and the SPY. We pulled up a little bit in the aftermarket, but I would be a little bit wary of this until we start seeing what's posted in the morning. I think Microsoft ended up doing good on earnings, along with what was the other one?
Visa.
Visa. Yeah, Visa did good, but I think Google tanked, right?
Yeah, Google is down about 5% after hours. On top of the
Ooh.
three it was down today.
See, so yeah, that's one of the bigger plays that we really needed to do good. But if these other companies can end up doing good, that's a good sign. So,
Yeah.
um,
You know that thing I was trying to tell you during the chat about T-3, the end of the month?
yeah, I get a little bit what you're saying with it. It's excuse me, it's people making taking profit on the plays they got and using that money to re-enter other plays, right?
Yeah, so like 3 days before the last day of the month, then it gives them the 3 days to clear by the last trading day of the month, so then they can start to buy on the first.
Right. And
Supposedly, the guys who trade for institutions need to sort of lock in their gains or losses,
yeah,
and then for each month, so they get their commissions. I,
it,
I don't know how much truth there is to it, but that's what I'm being told.
right. I get that with it, especially if you look near the monthly options dates closing and stuff. We just had the monthly close last week. So yeah, I could get that with a lot of it,
Yeah, and
especially.
I've been watching it every month this year since I joined that group, and it's dead on every time. It's like,
Yeah, and that's one thing we do got to watch out though when you're trading in groups, not groups, trading in patterns like that is after about a couple of times with that pattern, start looking for changes in them because this goes not just with doing that, but even like if you're let's say you're trading in between a trend line and it's bouncing in between this trend line and you're hitting every trade between those trend lines, usually about the third or fourth time, start looking for changes. Now, it,
yeah,
it can continue to trade like that, don't get me wrong, but if you start seeing something go the opposite way, it's usually good to get a little bit more confirmation before you jump into the next time.
I got you.
Um, to me, I call it my rule of threes. It seems like three bounces on a triangle or triple tops or things like that. Usually by about that third time, you usually can start seeing things getting a little mixed up. It doesn't mean don't take the trade like that. It's just uh, wait on a little bit more confirmation. I guess is
I
the good. So like if you would normally jump in the first of the month, try to wait for like the second or third of the month to make sure everybody is still following along with that.
Yeah, last month didn't go really quite as great as I had hoped.
It seemed like you still did good, except for when you went on vacation or whatever it was when you was in Europe.
Yeah, it was okay, but I got hammered when I couldn't see any of my stuff. I had no computer.
Okay, I'm going to. So if you're on Discord, you're going to see this. Let me find it here. You're going to see the class. The picture I got up disappeared. I'm going to switch it to my browser so I can show y'all a couple of plays right here that I took.
My
So,
screen just says now the
all
oh
right, it should
there.
be up now. See, or if it doesn't, look and see if there's another one up.
Oh, okay, there it
Okay,
goes.
so let me switch this for the people on YouTube too. Okay, so so this right here was Friday, I think Thursday or Friday. It was during power hour, and this was near the end of the day. Like there may have been one or two more candles, and that was 4 o'clock. So this is right near the end of the day. It's probably I think with this one, if this is no, this is Spider. Let's do the Twitter one first because I hit it first. So this one you would have had about 30 minutes before the close, or maybe even 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was the Friday. I watched that.
The Twitter one?
That was the spy, right? You just had that.
Yeah, the Spies is one, the last one I took. It's the closest one. We'll go over that one next. So on Twitter, what I seen is it was coming back up. Uh, you can see this little dotted line right above the LH. That was the high of the day. So I was looking for a rejection around that to enter puts on. So my plan is not to hold puts, not to swing them. I'm looking for an in and out on Twitter where it was around a 50 cent or $50 play. I'm looking for at least a 50 cent move, and that's round and about right at where we got. So I actually entered. If you see where it says short signal here, I actually entered the candle before it, and I called it out on the Discord. The next candle, actually the one that says short. So I entered there, and we can see that it swung back up. I was prepared to hold this until it either double top or broke over this double top or rejected, and we took profit. So luckily it didn't go quite that high. I didn't have to really stress over too much. Uh, as soon as we got this engulfing candle here, I knew. So we seen it get rejected near high of the day with an engulfing candle. We made sure that it was following that trend, and we waited for it to break underneath the 15 EMA line. So I have three confirmations there. I have an engulfing candle. I have a couple of candles showing that it is keeping that trend, and I have a break of the swing low wick right here or the 15 EMA. So that's a perfect entry. I have a get out point. If it breaks back over this, where it would have been a double top, that would have been my stop loss. I would have got out. I'd have cut my losses, been done with it. But we didn't get that far. It breaks down. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. So, where am I going to take profits at? I knew the 50 cent mark was below the VWAP in the 50. So my plan is the candle that flushes underneath the 50. A flush is when a candle, it's pretty much a large candle and it pushes down. It don't necessarily have to close large. We're just looking for it to push down and sell on that push down. Um, so when I seen this push down, I damn near bottom ticked it. I mean, it wasn't even pulling back up yet. So um, I ended up selling there, and we can see that the stock price moved about 50 cents. My delta was roughly, I can't remember, it's right around 50 some. So out of three puts, I made almost $75 on this play. So I had $25 a put on it, $75. I mean, it was, I think it was actually $21 or $22, something like that. So let's say $60 is what I made. Um, so we sold that one. I was all in with three, all out with three. I didn't scale. I went in with three because I wasn't looking for the full delta cycle where it moves a dollar. So the one Shrug's talking about here, this is the one I'm most proud of. This, it was near end of the day. When I called this signal out, I actually said, if anyone's crazy enough to take it, pretty much tell them to take it with me, then here it is. We're near the end of the day. These are 3-minute candles. And like I said, either this was the last candle or there might have been one more, and that was the close. And I'm sorry about my dogs, guys. I think my wife's coming home, and that's the reason why y'all can hear them barking. Um, but yeah, we had this red resistance box here. Now, if anybody has the new Selene Algo, this is one of the boxes it draws for you on it. It goes on pivot points and swing highs and things like that. So I was going off of that. I was looking for a rejection of that. So we got the rejection, we pull down, and we get the short signal. Now, I actually jumped in before the candle closed. I should have waited for the candle to close, and we got the break below the 50. That would have been the smart play, but I was confident enough in the way it was moving, and I think I may have even got that tweet out, or the signal out before that candle closed. So
Yeah, when there's a big week coming up and it's a Friday, you're gonna always expect a little sell-off right at the end.
yeah, and it's if you can see those, like if you're expecting like in these plays, if you expect a sell off or a run up or any of those things, look for the first sign of reversal. And I know I've talked to Shug about this, and people that took my class last week. Signs of reversal can be doji coins. They can be engulfing candles, things like that. I had the video up of week before last class where we talked about candle patterns and things like that. If you see those signs, they're worth trying out. I don't necessarily always recommend them doing them this close if you're doing zero DTEs, which I didn't on this. Actually, if you see here, I went out to the 3 day. This would have been the Monday close. That way, if something happened and I messed up, I could have held over the weekend. But my plan was to sell before it ever got to that point. And I forgot to put in the prices on this, but this pushed over $1, so we got over a full delta cycle out of this. And just like we was talking about, we'd hit this purple support I have here. I was looking for the push below that. Once we got it, that candle got the push below it, I sold on that push down.
What'd you do that all in about 4 minutes?
Yeah, well, let's see, 6. Yeah, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it closed like right afterwards. Like it was really a crazy play.
That's nice. I sold my calls just before that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I got that end of it. You got the other end.
Yeah, you played on this going up, didn't you? Right here.
Yeah, it was the whole day.
Yeah. So it's just things like that, guys. When you see a reversal coming, when you see these patterns, it's all about taking that chance, but be smart about it. Like if it hits your stop loss, get out. Like in this case, my stop loss would have been if it actually broke over this red box here, my resistance. So once you hit those, if it's going the wrong way, get out. You can always make another entry. If you don't have a day trading account, switch it to a cash account. And think of it like this. If you're playing options, now not shares, but options, and you have $1,000 in the account, you can do 10 $100 trades, option trades, in that day, be done for that day, and the next day your earnings will post again for you to play, and you can do 10 more $100 trades. So that pattern day trading rule does not apply. So I just want to go over a couple of these plays, show you that, watch out for your entries, look for things like that, and take your chance. I mean, you can't make no money unless you take that chance, but be smart about it, have you an out, and take it once you get there. Get out. Now, with that being said, and we can go over a couple of these plays near the end. I've got a couple more, but I wanted to get out there a few, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I wanted to get out a few plays that I'm looking at right now that I think look good and could possibly do pretty decent tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to switch this back over to my chart. So give me 1 second. Okay. And I think you'll like this one, Trug. Trading. Which one am I on? Let's go here, Dan. So this is Lucid. And I got a news alert on Lucid. You can see here that it spiked up. And we're kind of flagging. And I can show you the play on this one in the morning. But the news alert on Lucid was they just got a contract, a government contract with, let's see, Saudi Arabia. So here's the report that I've seen. Lucid reports deal for government of Saudi Arabia to buy up to 100 thousand vehicles over a 10-year period. Now, is that good for Lucid? You know, it's 100,000 vehicles over a 10-year period. It is a contract. It does guarantee income. So yeah, that's pretty decent for Lucid. But we're not, you know, this is not a play where we're holding for the next year. We're just looking for a news catalyst, a reason to be bullish on it, and to jump in. And this is just that type of news, especially if it starts getting the eyes on it by in the morning. And I think that with people seeing the stock spike up, we're going to start seeing people searching for the reason why and start seeing these news catalysts. So what's the play with it, right? We got the news catalyst. What's the play? Well, we can see that it's spiked up, and at least as of right now in the after hours, it's holding in this flag pattern. So if we draw it out right here,
Oh, that news was today?
yeah. Let me see. I can tell you exactly when it posted. Looks like it. Oh, and they had more too, but that posted at 4:37, and then yesterday, Lucid Air reportedly launching in Europe. So over the last day or two, they've had some pretty good news. They've had some massive whale trades, and they've had some pretty large call option sweeps coming through.
Oh, nice.
So there's some reason to look at this for tomorrow. So if we're looking at this in a channel, that's what we're kind of looking at, the flag. So I'll be watching the pre-market. What I'll be looking for is if it can at least hold this 50 EMA line. If it pulls down below that, let's see, that is the 50, right? Yeah, okay, I was seeing what that was. If it pulls down below that, it needs to bounce pretty quickly underneath that, or it's probably just going to give it all back. But in my opinion, it would need to bounce right at it. You know, maybe if it just barely dropped below it and bounced, that would be okay. But that's if yeah, if it fell underneath it, it's probably going to give it all back. So let's say that. So where's the play at with this, right? Well, if it bounces around open, you can give it that first 5 minutes or so, maybe 10, and see how it's going to play out and jump in there. Or if you wanted the full confirmation, like we know it's going to run, we know it's people are interested and want to keep going, you can see this candle pivot point that's coming out right here, right at 1882. If we break over that and hold, but if we break over that in the pre-market, it needs to hold it. But if we break over that at bell or near bell, then that would be the buy-in point. Stop loss would be, if that's going to be your buy-in point, stop loss would be if it breaks this swing low right here, if you wanted to play it tight, or this swing low right here if you wanted to be more riskier with it. Pretty much if I was playing options, it would be this swing low. If I had shares, I would break it at this swing low right here. So the play would be is it needs to hold to 50. It needs to break over 1882. So let's say 1885. Stop loss would be 1840. And what we could do is if it starts running, set a trailing stop loss or wait for it to break under one of your EMA lines, either the 20 or the 50, depending on whatever risk you want to do. With that type of news and knowing the way Lucid runs, it's possible this could run a couple of dollars, which would give you one or two delta cycles. So depending on how close you play it to in the money, that could be anywhere from 25 to 50 bucks per delta cycle. So you could get pretty much anywhere from 25 to sorry, no, it'd be anywhere from 50 to 100, maybe $120 per contract, depending on the delta and how close to in the money you play. But I wanted to mention that one because it had that news catalyst. I think it's something worth checking out, worth looking at. One of the others I'm looking at right here is Activision. Now, I was bullish on Activision back when it sold off. I sold my shares in it when it spiked up right here. I didn't even wait to see if it was going any higher. I mean, it did. Yeah, it was like a $20 run, so I just got out. I was like, I'm happy with that. I'm fine. But we can see this is a 4-hour time scale. We can see that's dropped under the 200. I swear I can't talk today. Not only did it drop underneath the 200, but it retested it and rejected it. So with that, we have this big gap, possible gap fill right here. If it even filled half of this, so where we're at right now, 77.19, to where it went down at 75. So yeah, if it even filled half of this, you're looking at roughly a $7 drop right there. That's 7 delta cycles you could run through. So even if you played like let's say a 74 put, and you ran it to 74 in the money, like maybe 50 cents in the money, and let's say it's $20 delta cycle. That is, let's see, 20 times 5, that's 100 plus 2 more. That's $140 per contract that you have there just on this one play, if it fills. But with that being said, this is not a day trade. This would be a swing trade, so you'd have to worry about. Hello?
Sorry, I was just eating.
Oh no, you're all right. So this is something you would want to go out on. So let's say we're interested in this play, we want to swing it. Oh crap! I left. Give me 1 second. I got to pull up my Weeble. So it's loading. Give me 1 second. Okay, so ATVI. Looking at options. So for me, I probably would feel more comfortable on this going out to the monthly, which is May 20th. If you wanted to play the 75 for May 20th, that would be $50 or $60 per contract. The implied volatility is 19, so that's like next to nothing. Your delta would be 24, so it's $24 for every dollar it drops, and your theta is only $2. So you're only losing $2 per day holding. So as long as it's dropping a little bit as it goes on, you have room for it to even like bounce a little bit. If it took 5 days to get there, a week to get there, you're only looking at a $10 loss in theta versus $120. So you're still over $100 on that contract if it makes it. But like I said, this would be a swing play, and it would need a little room to kind of like bounce. There we go. I'm back on it now. So where would our get out be on this, right? Well, we've already have our 20 and 50 cross. The price is already under the 200. So starting out, if we're at 77 here, yeah, the get out would probably be at the 200. So you'd be risking about $24, maybe 30 to make 100 to 120 per contract. So that would be your get out point. After that, I would pick a EMA line like your 15 or your 50, whichever one is following pretty decently. But I think that it's a good possibility. The way the gaming sector is right now, the way that this is set up, that we could see at least half of this gap fill. It's a thought, whether you're into swing plays, whether you're not, it's a thought. It's worth it. So, a couple of the other ones I'd looked at was some stocks that did good during earnings. Here we go. Let me go to the 3 minute. There we go. Visa. So Visa did good during earnings. I didn't check to see if they had already produced guidance or not. Sometimes they'll do earnings of the evenings, but not put out the guidance until the next morning. So I'm not really sure if they've done that or not. But again, this would only probably be a play if it can hold that 200 and bounce before the bell rings in the morning. If it drops below that 200, it's just going to give it back. It's probably not going to do anything after that, and the play would be dead. So if you get the 200 and the bounce, I always like to wait at least the first 10 minutes or so in the morning before I do any trading, and that gives you time to see if not only people are buying in the morning, but if it's going to hold instead of just running up and jumping back down. So that could be a possible play to look at. Visa, if it holds the 200. Waste Management, WM. This is one that we do have a gap up. It did hold this all day. So this one, I'm not sure what it's going to do. But I have a play for it either way. If it breaks underneath the 200, we could expect it to gap fill and come back down, and you're looking at about an $8 if it gaps fill play on this versus if it does break back over this pivot point right here at 165, you could probably see another rally, another run, and it continue going. So the play on this for me would be if it breaks under the 200, I'd get puts. If it breaks over let's say 165.50, I would get calls, as long as it looks like the volume is still holding good on it. Me personally, I think it would be a better play if it broke the 200 and played puts on it versus the call. But again, this is something that you could play it either way. What's the other one? Enphase. Enphase is a stock that I like to play, but you got to be careful because the spread on it can be pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah, they did pretty good today, right?
Yeah, they popped up really good. We can see that it did sell back off some, but it held its support here at the 50. So again, this would be one that you want to look to see if it holds that 50 in the morning. See if it keeps that trend and it pops. If it does sell off, you could go with the gap fill play, get a couple of dollars out of it to give it all back. Or if you get your bounce, you can play calls on it. And I'll put out some numbers on a couple of these guys, the ones that I really like, and some charts that y'all can have. I'll put them in I'll put the numbers on the public chat. And the watch list, and I will put the charts in the chart page. Now, with that being said, I did want to show y'all something. Those of you that's in the Discord, if you go to the watch list page, sorry, I swear I ain't drunk, guys. Yeah, right. I just can't talk today, man.
Yeah, you're fine.
So if you look at the numbers I've been putting out, the levels, like this one right here where it says SPY, right at the bottom of them, I've been putting this cut and paste S&R levels. So if you drag over that and cut it or copy it, it don't matter. And then we come back to the chart. On the new indicator, if you go into settings and you scroll all the way to the bottom, right here where it says S&R list 1. If you put that in there, I'm on the wrong one. We're supposed to do SPY. So if you put that in there and paste it and hit OK, it'll show those on here. And you can change those lines to whatever color, however you want them to look. But they'll put them in there. And if the price is above it, they'll show green. If the price is below it, they'll show red. So for those of y'all that maybe work and don't have the time to do a lot of charting, those numbers are there. And with this new indicator, it's easy to slap them right in there and use them.
Would you do me a favor and take a look at Microsoft?
Yeah, sure will, bub.
I wonder if you do the same thing if it holds the 50 or whatever. I mean, they seem to do okay on earnings, but you never know what's going to happen.
I don't know what that's in. I'll have to come back to that. So Microsoft.
I think Microsoft reported lower sales than anticipation.
Yeah, I think, let's see.
I think they did good on a bunch of things. Maybe certain items, but they did good on a number of things.
Yeah, I think their overall outlook is good, though.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the full picture on Google yet.
Yeah, that's, they ain't released their guidance yet, have they, on Google? Did they?
They were supposed to come out at 5, and they missed on sales, but I haven't gotten the full picture on them.
Yeah, I didn't know if they released their guidance. I knew they released the earnings, but like I was telling them earlier, sometimes they'll release the earnings of the evenings and the guidance of the mornings, but it depends on, I guess, when they had their actual call.
Yeah, Bloomberg said Microsoft guidance for fourth quarter is supposed to be light due to the Russian invasion.
And that's probably the reason why you've seen this back and forth. You had people trying to decide if that was, the guidance versus earnings, if it was decent enough or not.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing on Microsoft, where do we have? Yeah. So you got to be careful when they pop up like this. Where am I at? That they just don't give it all back in the morning. So you want to see it hold a support. A good one for me is usually either the 50 or the 200. I would say on this, if we was to throw this up here just to see, just for shits and gigs. Let's see. Yeah, so your 50 would actually, your 50 would be at the 38, and your 50% would be at the 200, well, right in between the 50 and the 200. I would say as long as you could probably hold that 50 and get a bounce in the pre-market, you might be good on Microsoft. But if we broke underneath that 200, I would probably say it's dead. Probably even before the 200, but definitely if it broke the 200, it's just going to give it back. There. What was that? I'm sorry?
It's in between. That's that line in between the 200 and the 50.
Yeah, right there. That's your 50% fib level. I mean, usually you look at the 68, but with where our EMA lines are and things like that, I would say if it broke underneath that 200, it's not going to hold it. It's people are going to take a bearish stance on it, and it's going to go the other way. But as long as in the pre-market you can hold, it would be really bullish if it could hold the 50. And the 200, it would really depend. To be honest with you, even if it held the 200, my expectation of it would be that you'd probably see a pop up, it not quite reach these highs, and you make a new lower high and it pull on back. Now, that's what I would expect. It doesn't necessarily mean that it would do that, but that's what I would expect from it. But I could see it staying pretty bullish, especially if it could hold this 50.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got calls for next Friday, so I got a little bit of time, but I like to see if it holds for the day.
Yeah, if it was me and I was playing it, if it pulled back and bounced off that 200 and spiked again, but it didn't quite reach these same highs right here, the aftermarket highs, I would probably dump it and get rid of it there.
Gotcha.
That's just what I would do. And there are factors there too. Does it just pull back a candle or two, bounce and keep going? Things like that. It ain't like I'm saying that it needs to in one candle reach back up there. You know, but that's yeah, that's probably what I would expect of it if it done the 200. But if you
Yeah, I'm not gonna take much more risk than I already did. I want to get out.
yeah yeah I would say that if you can hold that two or that 50, you'd be a lot better off.
All right, thank you.
No trouble. Um, I think as of right now, that's the ones I've got. These Waste Management, In Phase, Lucid. Yeah, okay. I can check one other thing right here and see if there's anything else. Oh, GM, what did it do? It had earnings too, didn't it?
I don't think it was good.
Let's see.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it shot up there, and then they probably gave guidance, and it came back. Yeah, this is going to really depend on pre-market, but I'm not expecting anything too good from it. So this being a $38 stock, and it being, oh wow, it's right at support, ain't it?
And they had the CEO of Ford on today, and he was saying they have orders backed up, but they're having supply chain issues.
Yeah, I'm not. I get it, but I mean, we're this far into it now that we shouldn't be having as much trouble as what we are. I wouldn't think, but what do I know? I'm not into logistics and stuff like that. I mean, I think that there could have been some problem solving by now to at least get out some of these cars. I'm not saying get back into full production, but I don't know. Just to me, it smells like something else is going on too.
Seems like they're being cheap and they're not willing to outbid their competitors. That's
Well,
all I
yeah,
take from it.
and one of the things that they're trying to do too is like some of these parts, let's say like the stereo systems or stuff like that. They're going ahead and producing these cars and selling them, and they're not putting those parts in them and saying, "Oh well, when we finally get supply chains under control, you can come back and get that part added on, free of charge or whatever." I mean, who's going to do that? You know?
Well, I had the semiconductor thing. If it comes down to that,
Yeah, I mean it. But on GM, if I was looking to play this, which I'm not, but if it broke this bottom support, you'd probably be good for puts on this thing because
I'm
I
right
don't
now
see.
at 34.
Yeah, I don't see anything catching it. I mean, look at that. We're on the 4 hour, man, and I'm already back to July 2021. I mean, you got to go all the way back to mid to end 2020 to find any support on this thing. So, yeah, I mean, if it goes below that, you could for sure probably get a few dollars out of this, a few dollar move in the stock prices. So, depending on where you go at on a put, how far close to the money you get, I mean, you could get a few dollars out of it. And options are usually cheap on it. If we go to GM, even if you wanted to
Yeah, I'm
swing
pretty
it,
sure they're pretty cheap.
yeah, you could go out like the next week and still get a cheap one. Like
I'd probably take the 20s.
yeah, I mean you go the 6th or the 20th. Let's see what the 20th are just for gigs. Um, so yeah, if you took a 36 on the 20th, that's $145. Your delta's 29. Your theta's $4 or 4 cents. If you did a sixth, which that would give you 10 days
Oh,
on it.
yeah, the
Um,
6 might be a little cheaper.
yeah, it's $104, 26 delta, $8 theta. So I mean, just depending on how long you plan on holding it. I mean, I think a play like that you could do the weekly, but if you wanted to hold it for a few days and let it come on down, or if you're not sure, you could go on out to the sixth, and it's not going to be that big of a difference in price. Let's see.
So how do you feel Amazon's going to do on Thursday?
Uh, Man, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it because, Amazon has the Prime services and stuff like that, which are pulling back with most services. I've heard that they've been having problems with transporting things, but sales, I say they're kicking ass in sales. So
Yeah.
I
They
don't
got
know.
that whole union thing going on now.
Yeah, so I'm really mixed on it, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I don't think I would play Amazon itself for earnings. I would probably play the before and after, maybe. But even I think those options are probably too expensive for me. Let me see.
I was asking because I've been looking at the spy, and it's been pretty horrible. And I wonder when the bounce is going to come.
My guess on that, if I
I'm thinking maybe Friday then, or maybe next week even. It's getting close to a level where it's bounced before a few times.
let me look back at the earnings right here real quick. Um, so my guess is we could. I mean, we had Google and Microsoft today, but we're with Meta, PayPal, Teledog, Hertz, things like that. Tomorrow, if we can start getting some really good earnings in those, that's when I would expect a really good bullish momentum. And then by Thursday close, if Apple, Amazon, Roku, well, not Roku, but Twitter, those like that, Intel, if we can really start getting a push in that, that's when we'll see that momentum and go. But with that being said, the opposite of that is true too. If these start coming in, bad reports, bad guidance, things like that, we're going to be hurting in it because the spy is already beat down.
Yeah, that's just going to cause a cascade.
Yeah.
Apple's the big one.
Yes, that's true. The largest holdings in the SPY right now is Apple.
Is Apple Friday?
It's Thursday after close. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then if you're into oil, we have Exxon and Chevron, Phillips 66, and can't see. I think that's it as far as oil goes. All those are Friday at close. So if some of these stocks start to post pretty good earnings, and the oil prices stay above 95-ish, you could probably play these into earnings instead of actually holding them over the weekend for earnings. But playing, or no, those before open, my bad. Yeah, you could play these into earnings, um, and then whether you want to hold or not, that depends. Um, I think oils is going to do really good for earnings this time. I don't know what guidance is going to be with some of the things coming up and uh, what people are expecting with the war and stuff. I just have
Right.
not got a clue what people's going to say about it. But
I
playing
know.
it, yeah, playing it into earnings could be a good play. Um,
Valero did pretty good today on their earnings. I think they were up about 5%.
what else do we have? We had
Refiners.
QuantumScape. Let's see, QuantumScape didn't do no good. Yeah, look at that. Sorry about this.
Is that QuantumScape?
Yeah. So we had a
Yeah,
sell off.
I look at this one a lot because I really want them for the long term.
Yeah, if it would ever catch a break, I would probably grab some of these. I like it too.
It's
Um,
down there now, pretty good.
Somebody mentioned teak. I think it was zero play. Or sorry, that's me. Real plays.
Is that tech?
Yeah,
Oh, what's up? Wait,
that was
whatever.
you mentioning this, right?
Yeah. It's a coal, nickel, or yeah, it's a bunch of miners. It's a
Tech is minor, yeah. I think it's more materials.
Let's see.
materials. Yeah.
Let's try this. XME. This is metals and mining. So it's down right now. What about
Oh, that's a nice wedge it's in right now.
XLB? So yeah, both materials and metals and mining are kindly in this little wedge shape coming down. So um, that could be something to watch out for, to look and see. But where we at? We got a
Especially if the technology stuff starts to fade, the money's with the inflation and all that, the money might start coming over this way too.
if we're looking at materials, I think we're at a key point on this. It either is going to bounce pretty much right where it's at. You might get another. Let's see. Yeah, about between where it's at to about another dollar lower, it needs to bounce. Or if it doesn't bounce, it's probably going to pull. The whole sector is going to pull back.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a little bit wary of everything right now.
yeah, but
But typically, when these things go, it's a little bit after this T-3 day, and it starts getting support for a couple of days, and then it starts to really move on after the first of the new month. But like I said, that's been a pattern. Maybe it changes. Who knows?
I'll tell y'all something else, and I'll take any questions after this or any stocks you want me to look at, and then we can wrap it up. But a sector I would watch is consumer discretionary and consumer staples. Um, they had been running pretty good, and we just now got a pullback, and we can see like some of the big stocks like Walmart, Target, CVS, things like that, that they are down, but overall, like here's Walmart. So we had this pullback, but it's not like this is the 4 hour. It's not in any bad position at all. As a matter of fact, it can still pull them back a little bit more and still be good. So if we get this bounce on this, um, I see one or two things happening. We get a bounce and continue higher, or we start trading within this rectangle here, and you could play scalps off of them because we're talking about a like a $10 bounce in Walmart. CVS is probably close to about the same, about a $5 or $10 bounce. Target would probably be about a $15 to $20 bounce. So it would be one that I'm going to be looking toward. I've actually been looking at the consumer sectors the last week or so. Been playing them. It's a really overlooked sector right now, and another one that's been doing good and getting overlooked is the real estate sectors. Um, Anybody interested in REITs, dividends, stuff like that? Right now wouldn't be a bad time to try to look for entries and things like that into them. So before we wrap it up, is there any stocks anybody'd like me to look at or go over or anything like that?
I've been curious for the travel sector, and today when Visa reported, they were saying they got a lot of their business from people traveling. So I'm kind of interested in it. The airlines have made a pretty decent move this last month.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually mentioned that. We've been talking about airline or travel stocks the last week or so. I know me and Real Plays has had a few conversations about it. Me and Shimmy. We even had CJ in here talking about it with us one day. Um, I'm really bullish on the travel sectors right now. We have summer coming up. We have mask mandates coming down. Gas in some places are coming down. It's just a really good confluence of events, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like a lot of things are coming together to really make this a really good season for it. So, what are some stocks I like to play in it? I like airlines, UAL, American Airlines. I like cruise ships, like Carnival and Norwegian. I like Expedia.
Carnival pulled back pretty good today.
Yeah, and I tell you something else too. A few stocks that seem to run right together is American Airlines, Carnival Cruise, and Norwegian. If we pull up, let me show y'all this. Check this out. So if we take, right here's three. Oh, I'm gonna need a bigger monitor, right? Well, we'll just do it like this. So American Airlines, CCL. Let's go with the, because 1 hour on both.
Carnival should be making a good rebound here soon.
So we can see like this right here. If I pull, it's kind of like popped up and it's ran together, ran down. If we take Norwegian and put it in here.
Oh yeah, Norwegian and Carnival identical.
Yeah. Let's see what. NCLH?
NCLH.
Yeah. Check that out. We had to pop up, the pull down, almost every little bump in between them. Here, pops up, sells off, pops up, sells off. They're almost always running right together, and I think a lot of the reason that is these are the most popular ones in it. And I know, like in my area, if I wanted to go on a cruise, I either got to drive 12 hours to get there, or hop on a flight, go down to where the cruise sets off from, and then go from there. So that adds in American Airlines and then the cruise together, all that. So that's your kind of options to do. And I think that's the reason why they all run together like that. Not to mention, you're talking about fuel prices and things like that. That affects them. The time of year, seasonality affects them. So it's really a confluence of everything just running together.
What was Carnival before COVID hit? Remember this 50s or 60s?
Let's see. I can.
It's at least 40.
CCL. I think it was higher than that. Let's see. Let's go back to the day chart. So you can see here lately through all this, it's been a swing trader's dream. Come on, pull on back here. So right here we are. No, we need to go back a little bit further. Yeah, look, you can see a big drop off right here. Again, guys, I got so much stuff running in the background. I'm sorry if this is a little laggy. Yeah, look at that. Wow. So this is December 2019 right here. Look, it's still going down. So
Jesus, what have you got in the back?
that's like 51. I've got OBS, Weeble, TradingView, yeah, just all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
Close some tabs, man.
Get out the dragon screen.
No, I need a whole new computer is what it is.
That's funny.
Carnival is one of the ones I've been thinking about adding to my long portfolio, but it's managed by someone else, and adding slowly to it.
Is there any cruise lines that offer dividends? Carnival?
I don't know. I can look into it, but I'm not really sure right off the bat.
I doubt it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I probably don't.
But I'm looking at Carnival. I don't see any dividend on them.
Yeah, Carnival's probably.
I know it's going to be before they actually get her back going. It's probably going to be another year or two, but it's eventually going to work its way back up to that $50 range.
I'll tell y'all something else too. After summer, Disney could be a decent little play. Usually the last month or two of summer, and then the earnings right after that. So in August and September, that's usually when Disney shoots up. So from like June to August, maybe October, and a lot of that's because of the parks opening back up. It's not so much that they're making a bunch of money off of it. It's that news catalyst of the parks are opening up. Just everything coming in. Um, Everybody kind of seeing that news and like, oh well, better buy in. Um, that's the best time to play Disney when you're playing them in these off seasons like this. Their streaming services just ain't been doing the best.
Zero, have you heard anything about that Boeing airline that went down in that Boeing plane that went down in China?
No, I didn't even know it was Boeing. I knew that there was a plane that went down, but I didn't know it was Boeing.
Yeah, now Boeing right now, like as of today, is at like its lowest point ever. Well, maybe not ever, but
I know
in a long time.
CJ was playing it a week or two back, something like that. I don't know if it's one he normally plays or if it's just something he was looking at for a news catalyst. It had earnings this week, was it? Or was it last week?
I think it's tomorrow.
Yes, you're right. It's tomorrow before open.
I've been
Boeing?
trying to get this thing going up for 6 months, and every time I do, I get smashed.
Yeah, wow, yeah, look at that.
And now it's at the lowest it's ever been, and I really wanted to buy it today, but I don't know. I just I wasn't feeling it.
That crash was like a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they sent the black boxes to the United States, but then I never heard anything about what went on, what the reason for the crash was.
Yeah, look at that. As soon as it broke that support right here between these two,
Yeah, look at that. I mean, it just collapsed today.
Wait, what is this?
Boeing.
Oh, Boeing. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what it needs to break. This trend line right here.
I don't know. One day will be good, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like all stocks except for energy, at least for the first half. Like,
What do y'all think about
just
Twitter,
descending
man?
channels.
Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, it's down. So if it stays like this tomorrow, I think I'll be in the money on my Twitter puts.
Oh, nice.
To be honest with you, I meant to sell them today, and I didn't make it home in time to sell them. So.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head after seeing Tesla tank today that maybe Elon actually backs out of this deal, but then they posted that there's a $1 billion termination charge if he does.
Oh.
He doesn't care. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's
Yeah.
like, did you hear what he was talking about, his new robots that are coming out?
No,
No.
He said his new robots that are going to be coming out in the near future will be worth twice as much as Tesla.
I was actually bullish on it when he was talking about doing like the trucking stuff. I thought like that'd be awesome for trucking companies, and then it just never went nowhere. That was what, like 3 years ago or something, 2 years ago. But yeah, that's I don't know. Elon. Sometimes I think it's really cool the stuff he's doing, and other times he just talks and it gets on my nerves.
He's a smart guy.
He really is, yeah. You can definitely tell he's on the spectrum, though, man. He's like, woo.
He looked, yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I appreciate
Thanks,
y'all
man.
showing up and joining me. If y'all ever have any questions, anything, yell at me and start using those levels if y'all need to or want to, guys. I'll post them in the watch list, and I'll always tag it with cut and paste support and resistance levels.
Yeah, let's see if we can get me back on track tomorrow. Or I got like $100 and I'm down 100 more hundred. I'm cashing out and I'm done.
Yeah, okay. I'll be. Let's see. Shimmy usually starts about 9:30. I should be in there around 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm not going to take any type of play. It's like just phenomenal right at this point. I keep getting in on these calls in the Sling Aggro, and they just keep dropping out on me. I was like, just bad luck, really. It's all.
Right.
It's been brutal if you're playing on the upside the last week or two.
Yeah.
It was for the last 3 months for me.
Find a Spectrum store near you. Spectrum.com/stores.
All right. All right, guys. We'll yell at you, man.
All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on that Lucid tomorrow and a couple of those other ones.
Yeah, definitely on that Lucid. I think that Lucid's going to be the play tomorrow, but we'll see how the pre-market looks.
All right, Zero. Thanks so much. Have a great night.
Hey, you too, guys. Y'all have a great one.
See ya, buddy.
All right, so those of y'all on YouTube, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you next week. Thank you.